Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. This is another edition of Dublin in Darkness. This is the Vampire Venue, now starting with two lovely ladies, um, having gathered together to make an appointment to visit a mansion, large mansion of the foreknown keeper of Elysium.
Katya would have picked up Monique before driving on. Stop making me fucking laugh.
Sorry, man.
She would have picked her up in the limo and. Fucking stop it! Okay.
It's a serious scene, okay?
Yeah, serious scene that you're interrupting with talk of cats and panties. Anyway, Katya would have picked her up in the Lincoln stretch limo, and out would step one of her blood siblings. And he would open the door for Monique.
And Monique will enter the vehicle and greet the Princeton.
Her blood sibling would close the door behind her and head up to start driving again. It's good to see you again, Monique.
Good evening, Katya. I hope you're doing well.
I am.
Our last encounter, that was an interesting evening yesterday. Overall.
Interesting. That doesn't even begin to cover it.
Hmm. I mean, yes, started with a red lister, then a diablerist.
Mm,
Yeah.
Our domain is a bit of a mess.
I really didn't expect things to go the way they did last night, honestly. I just wanted to see music room and ended up being like public humiliated in a big room by the prince.
Oh, yes, that was
Yeah.
uncalled for, but
Well, don't worry about it. It's going to be a long time until this is lived down, I assume, but
yes, you'll have to try and win back your sire's affections, I suppose.
well, it's not that I don't deserve the shunning, honestly, but
Yes, I can't say that I would not have done far worse had my child done that to me. But let's not talk about that. Happier subjects.
indeed.
As the
I
car drives on, it arrives suddenly at a larger black gate. It's an older gate. It's not in ill repair. It has been modernized somewhat, but it still has a very old look. On both sides of a large gate, there are statues formed on either side. These statues seem to represent hmm, the god of messages, the Greek god of messages, Hermes, and at the other side, the, the goddess Athene. At the side, at a more modern looking thing, there seems to be a speaker, or at least something to talk into, and a bell, which could be rung.
Katya would let her blood sibling do the talking. he would go ahead and hit the thing to talk.
As they push in, an older man's voice seems to answer and asks who you are and who you have business with.
Primogen Katja von Essen, and I'm sorry, dear, I didn't get your name.
Monique.
And Monique here for the keeper, Alexander Rothschild.
Right, you come for the young master. That's wonderful. And the gate beeps open. The large gate opens, and as a slow revelation, you can see you have to drive past a very large garden with different types of scenery, many different types of trees as well. As you drive up, you appear to drive up to the house from the left to right, where you pass stairs, a large lake, and more statues, vases, and other kinds of very ornate and beautiful, um, beautiful decorations. You'll drive up at a sort of post, as I would say, and at that post is the old man looking at the approaching car. The car will have to stop since there is there are concrete erecting poles from the ground, inhibiting it to drive forward.
He would stop and step out
He
before
smiles.
moving around to open the doors for Monique and Katya.
The older man would bow deep to the driver, but even deeper to the Primogen, of course, Lady Monique. He then looks at the driver and then looks at Katya and assumes that it's Katya's driver because she addresses more expensive, so to speak. And he says, "I'm sorry. On the orders of the young lord, those who are not of your kind are not allowed inside the house." My
Oh,
deepest
he actually is. He's one of us, but he won't be attending this evening. He'll be waiting for us.
good. The older man then walks over to Katya and bows to her more deeply again, and then to Monique again. Clearly, he's used to being subservient.
Hmm.
Then he
Castiel would
turns.
come over and place a kiss on Katya's head before getting back in the car.
The older man turns on his heels, makes way to the front door. They pass several statues again, more closely, and go up a small stairs. Well, not really small, large stairs, but not many steps. As they arrive at the top, they're met with very large wooden doors which hold the crest of the Rothschild family. It's been carved deep into the very thick door, which is dark brown and reddish color. "The young master will wait inside," the older man says, and then gives a small tap on the door, and the door is open. Inside the house, you're met with the man that you had the appointment with. The keeper is standing there, hands folded behind his back, eyes piercing, and I have to make two rolls. Because you're entering my domain, you're entering my territory,
Oh shit.
and I need to know which attention you have when you're here. This is nothing yet, Christine. Nothing yet.
Colors.
Well, we're gonna be making rolls as well, I think.
That's
Indeed.
Like seriously, I'm gonna roll for seeing auras and shit.
1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
So you get pretty much everything.
Yep.
I got 5 successes.
Oh well.
Oh man, I can see right through you.
2 successes, primary color.
Ooh hoo hoo.
Something you have noticed
She
before
has
now.
terrible empathy, so.
Something you've noticed before now, and you can see again. Within his aura, he has a little bit of light green in it. Um, a a a darker green, especially here. Um, a aura that is, of course, the vampire aura, and the light blue color. Also a bit of lavender. You got quite a mix there,
Mhm.
with the strongest one being lavender, and the lightest one being the light green one.
Okay. Wait, where'd it go? Monique, what are your colors?
Uh I have to think about it. How many colors can you see?
4.
And you, Katya?
Nah, she's only got primary color. Whatever the main color that is dominant in the aura is.
Hmm. I will decide what will be the dominant after I decide what colors that is. Definitely a bit of dark blue because I don't know what to expect. I don't know the guy very well. Um. Uh. Of course, there's always a silver undertone lately, or gray rather. Um. Light green. And and kind of anxious, so it's pretty scrambled. I'd say the most prominent is probably the depressive one.
Well, that's just saddening.
Well, it's been the case for the past
Katya's
couple of weeks, so
would be. Seriously, dude, stop it. Overwhelmingly light blue. Probably a touch of lavender, a touch of the light green. And that's all for now. That could change.
Of course. As he notices the ladies, he will make a bow after looking at them, obviously, and say, "Welcome to the Rothschild mansion."
Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure.
Right. I heard you were both interested in my house and my, well, music room, I would say. Instruments and such. Rothschild then walks into the hallway. The hallway is a bit long, uh, about 6 meters wide, quite large. Um, Rooms on either side, but it ends up at a larger hall. He walks over, and as Monique can clearly see, there is a lot of artwork around.
Hmm. This could easily be a museum, you know?
Is she saying that out loud?
Yep.
Rothschild looks back at her and says, "It could, but it won't. After all, I wouldn't want all kinds of people walking about." He keeps moving on, and she can see more artwork. Definitely a lot of wood in the house, a lot of engravings. Um, you can see a door that is slightly ajar, that should be closed, you think. When you peek inside as you walk by, you can see clearly it's a drawing room.
Hmm.
You're familiar with the term?
Yep.
All right. As it seems to be quite well um, stocked, so to speak. There's a lot of furniture there, as well as ornate stuff, mirrors, and the likes. Um, you can also see that it is in use. He's using that room for something you don't know.
Hmm.
They walk past another door, which is closed, and then towards the steps of the hall. As you enter the larger hall space, you can see a corridor going left and going right as a mirror image to each other, both holding two extra doors. He starts making his way up the stairs. He's walking slowly. He's not saying much, like he's either anxious or very focused on what he's about to show. As he walks in, on the top of the stairs, he looks down at both women and say, "We're almost there. I understand that it's a lot to take in. I will show you some artwork that might need some serious restoration. But if now, please follow me into the music room." As he does so, he walks a few paces, only to enter a corridor, not even a closed off area with a door. Just passes some curtains, and as they both do, they enter a gallery. I have no other way to explain how it is. Maybe the gallery is not the great word. It's a balcony. Is the better word. They're entering a balcony, and as they walk along the balcony, they can look down at a very large marble dance floor. It has a huge, or a set of huge, chandeliers hanging down. Some of the furniture that is there has been covered, but on the on the upstairs where they're walking, there are several alcoves where there are musical instruments stored. Monique can walk past the harp.
Uh, Out of character question, would it be acceptable to like tag on the strings while walking, or he'd like freak out?
You you would have to try that in character. I do have to say that if you want to do that, you have to step a little bit closer inside that room. It's not like you can walk past it and just touch
Oh,
the
oh,
strings.
then okay, forget it.
No, no, there's no door. You can just make 2 steps as you walk past. It that part is no
Well,
biggie.
yeah, but I wouldn't go out of my way to do that. If I was passing by it, I might, but I'm not gonna get out of my way to do that.
All right. Then as you walk, then as you walk past by, you can see the harp. As you walk by any further, you can see more classical type instruments. You can see a violin. Actually, you can see two. You can see a clarinet, a hobo, and a fagot. All very classical instruments. You can even see a lute and a lyre. They're all put out there as if they were in a museum. And at the end, he walks down in a circular stairs down towards the room that they've been looking onto. The marble makes its echoing sound as he takes a step on it. And when they're down there, when she looks past him, she can see the target what he's walking to. He's walking towards a very old but ornate, beautiful looking piano. And he says, "There she is. This is the piano I've talked about. I haven't played her in many time. I haven't found the mood for it.
Certainly a thing of beauty.
Yes, it's lovely. The whole house is.
Would you like to try her out?" And he opens the piano so she can see the ivory.
I certainly would. And actually, I would be willing to burn willpower in order to play if I fail that, because that would be
Yeah.
embarrassing.
Go ahead. I mean, you can put as much focus and willpower into uh, making the beautiful piano sound as beautiful as she is.
Okay, let's see. Well, actually, I have a pretty good die
Uh,
pool.
Go ahead. I
So,
mean, if you say you burn a willpower, you always have a success. Simple as that.
well, uh,
Yeah, die pool doesn't mean jack when it comes to the dice gods.
Exactly.
no. So, okay, if I roll and I don't fail, I don't need to use it to burn it. But if I fail,
You have to declare that you are
Yeah.
using a willpower
Before you roll,
you roll.
yeah, but is it used up either way?
Yes.
yep.
Okay, then fuck the willpower. I'll fucking take a risk, I suppose. Ah, fuck. Ah, god damn it! Why is this key stuck? Uh, I assume that would be standard difficulty, right?
Yes. Well, yeah. It's up to what you want to perform. If you want to perform something easy, then it's standard difficulty. If you want to show off, then
Uh,
I said it would go to 8.
depends what you define as easy.
Easy would be would be chanson, something light, something easy. If you want to do something more challenging,
I would
you
like,
go for
but
Bach
look,
or you go for
I'm not gonna play. Oh, fuck! I forgot his name now. Uh,
Beethoven, Mozart.
no, I was actually going to play Beethoven, probably play Moonlight Sonata, probably, but that's pretty
Oh, yeah,
easy.
well, that's pretty easy. Yeah, that's an
Yeah,
easy
that's
one.
Yeah,
pretty easy.
that'd be standard diff, really.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see what we get. Two, just two. Fuck me.
Should have burned willpower.
Yeah, but with with piano specialties in the nine, count for two.
Nope,
Why?
only the 10
It
does.
only tens.
Only the
Only
10.
tens double
Oh,
with specialties.
Yep. So
well,
as you
yeah,
start,
but two successes is still a success, though. Like,
as you start playing, everyone with a keen ear for sound would know that this isn't your best performance. Even at the party, you played better. But it also could be the piano. We'll blame the piano on part of it because it has been a while since it's been played, and it's not quite tuned as much. And that's what Rothschild will say when he can clearly hear that this isn't as beautiful as it could be.
well, it's have to find a good tuner for such a piece.
Yeah, not many people can do these pianos very well anymore, simply because it's so old. Many are way more modern.
Well, it has to be some.
Modern doesn't necessarily be good.
Oh no, not at all. Not in my
Yes,
standard, at least.
it would be hard to find someone that you trust with such a piece. And good tuners are hard to find in general.
Yes, well, I'm not in a necessary hurry or anything. I could simply buy another piano and use that one.
That's always an option, but I would really think that it would be a good idea to keep this one well
Oh,
preserved.
I will keep it. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, I wasn't questioning that. Just I think it's good to keep it maintained if you find the right people for it.
Oh yes, that is something that is remiss of mine, I suppose. I do not like strangers very much, roaming around the house, googling and touching random things that they haven't got permission for.
Mm.
But
I know the
yes,
feeling.
I'll consider it. And he walks over to a small table. You can see that it's not normally here. It is too specifically placed. On the table there is a floss. No, not a flagon. Is the word I think, or a small keg, glass keg of what seems to be Vitae, recently poured in there, like literally only seconds before you arrived, you would assume. And he pours himself a glass, and he offers either one of you one if you are willing.
Well, it would be rude to turn it down.
He will pour you a glass, and he will offer Katya a glass as well if she wants it.
Freely given.
All right.
As long as it's been freely given, I will take a glass.
He gives the glass, obviously, to her, and then takes the third glass, fills it, and drinks it himself. Yes, to beauty. And he raises the glass and drinks from it.
To beauty.
To beauty.
So yes. So Katya, you are known to admire beautiful things, as well as the roses do, obviously.
No, I hardly think I'm that much of an admirer, but I have
Then
been known to enjoy beautiful things.
he smiles. He looks at her very intently, and I'm going to try and see if I can read from your surface mind, or from your surface thoughts, what that beauty would be, what you find interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
Oof, not a, not a
Not
botch,
today,
not a
Satan.
botch,
Not today.
Not a thing. He gets nothing.
which is fine, which is fine.
You could simply ask.
Why ask? Probing is way more fun. Anyway, as
Yeah,
he
but
as he
if
doesn't get,
if you realized it though, it would be, mm, mm, you know, eh.
meh,
I mean, to be fair, the thing that would come to her mind is, the Prince of Paris, because,
you bring,
appearance
I
setting.
know.
well, say that he brushes that image, but doesn't get it quite well, but he does know that it's a person instead of an item, which brings a slight grin to his face. But then he moves on. He moves on as the steps on the marble echo again. He holds the glass still, and then says, "Well, let's let's return to another area."
I was wondering if you would be interested in having piano lessons.
It has been a long while. The last time I played piano was with the supervision of my teacher when I was a younger man, obligated by my father to do so.
Well, if you're being forced, oftentimes you don't enjoy it. However, at this point in life, you could try it again and you may like it.
And
I'll
what?
be honest with you. If this is personal interest as well, because I do not own a piano at the moment, and the piano I was practicing on no longer exists.
That's highly unfortunate.
So that would be a great opportunity for me to keep practicing and perhaps teach you a bit more.
Hmm. I think it would be quite impossible to have you around here at your own accord.
Oh no, that would be on your terms.
Right. Well, on my terms, I suppose it would be possible. And Rothschild thinks for a moment and says, "Well, sure. What would you like to have in return is the fact that you can simply play on this piano enough so far."
Hmm. Well, if there is one thing that I would ask, I expect there's going to be an effort to restore what was lost.
What are you referring to when you say restore what was lost?
The destruction of the restaurant.
Ah, La Perfecta? Something like that?
Yes.
Yes.
And if you would be so kind as to participate in its restoration, that would be enough compensation for me.
All right. I'll
I don't
see
leave
what the,
nothing for myself.
I'll see what I can do. I mean, it does it does interest me, I have to admit. I've heard of its recent fire. So yes, I think that will be nice. However, me helping to restore it would be quite expensive. I would like something else in return. But it's something I
I wouldn't
know you can
expect you
give
to do
me.
it alone. I think something is being planned for
Mhm.
it, but I'm
Yes,
not
there's
allowed.
plans in the works for funding the restoration of La Perfecta.
Well, if it needs a different or better structural design, I'll be happy to help. Normally, I do not work cheap, but I guess as a compensation, I wouldn't mind doing it if you add something that I have interest in, Monique, which
Is it
is
something I can?
a language you speak. I would like to learn it. You
Well,
speak the language of love, am I correct?
mm, that's my native tongue, indeed.
Well,
I'd
I
gladly teach you.
I'm interested in learning your native tongue.
Then we'll have a deal. And
Perfect.
she will extend her hand to shake.
He will take her hand, but not as a handshake, but he will simply take the hand in his left hand, bring it forward as he bows and kisses it on the top of her knuckles. A deal struck.
Indeed.
Now I do have to tell you that I would like your professional opinion on something. And he walks over to the side of the beautiful hallway we're in. And as you follow where he's going, you can see that there are two, what seems to be either very large covered mirrors, or at least some easel that is currently being covered that is holding something. And then when Rothschild gets close and takes the cover off the object, both are revealed to a family picture, an old family picture, a very old family picture, one with Rothschild still in it as a very young man, with his parents, his sister, his brother, in the front of the stairs that you come up on.
Hmm.
You can clearly see that it has been, well, it has not been ill treated. It's just extremely dusty.
Hmm.
It is old. Colors have turned a little bit because the technique
Yellowish.
that was used and the paint that was used is old. It wasn't um, it wasn't the modern stuff that they use right now.
Well, this is certainly a good piece of art, and by the looks of it, restoration will be quite easy actually. It doesn't have any serious damage.
This one has not.
No. Pretty much what you see here is the varnish getting old and grimy. This could be easy to remove and reapply.
How much would that cost by your services?
Hmm. That will depend on how long it will take and what materials I need to use.
You can use the time. I do not mind the time. You can
Uh,
make an assessment of the materials once you would have it in your possession.
yes, because I cannot know yet. Uh, Things will need to be tested on the backside to see what chemical I need to use to remove the varnish without
Yes.
without any damage.
Also, as you can see, it's not painted on canvas. It's painted on wood.
Mhm. That won't be a problem. Um, it won't be too much, however.
But you could do it. You
Yes,
possess the
definitely.
skills.
Certainly. That won't be a problem at all. I've worked with a lot harder work. Like at the moment, I'm working on a piece that has fire damage on it. It's yes, and that's a tough one, but it can be done. Everything can be restored.
There is another piece yet. It's quite more damaged. And he reveals the second piece that is there. It's smaller in size, but the damage is way more extensive. As when he reveals it, they both recognize that it's from either a very young lady or a lady that looks a bit like a sister. Only the um, the painting has like severe damage on it. Like there's been somebody running into the painting while it was hanging somewhere. The canvas or the material is cracked. Part of the paint is has fallen off. It is torn at some point because it was slightly ripped from its holder, and um, you have the feeling that there are small specks of blood on there that shouldn't be there. The more interesting part for Katya as well is that the girl in the picture is wearing scarce clothing and has the same color hair as she has.
Um, Question out of character. Well, normally I wouldn't touch it without wearing gloves, but I kind of feel compelled to spirit touch it.
Well, that is up to you. Do you want to do it? You can do it. I mean, you're
Yeah,
very close to it, but
I
that's
don't
up
know.
to you. I
I don't
won't
know
tell
if
you
that
what the
would be.
response will be.
I don't know if that would be a good idea to do it here. I mean, I might actually be able to take it, but even so, I don't know if I would touch it without gloves.
Well, I
Like,
mean, we don't produce oils anymore, so there's
it
no oils in our skin to damage it.
doesn't matter. It's a it's a compulsion. I can't help it. I have to be professional about it.
Well, you have you, it's up to you. If you want gloves, ask for them. If you don't want gloves, you want to touch it
Oh
right
no,
now. It's your
now
touch.
that's right now. I, I
You're
will actually.
very you're
I think
very close.
I
It's a
think I'll do.
beautiful
I
painting.
think I'll do the polite thing and ask instead. Or you can tell me what your aura looks like while you look at it and see if this prompts anything.
Okay, well then you have to make a roll for my aura because you're not getting that one for free. I'm sure.
It's not
Oh
for
no,
free. I already had
no, you
physics.
already,
Still looking at your aura.
Oh,
I've never
right.
stopped.
If you
yeah.
look at his aura, then you can definitely see there's silver there. There is a definite deeper, darker red color,
I expected that somehow.
Well,
and there is there is I would say a little bit of apprehension there. I don't see the color for it, but yeah, you get that one definitely.
Hmm. Okay. So, if you don't mind me asking, uh, what happened here?
When I was a younger man, when I was just recently embraced, a hunger came over me, and this picture that was in the room that I lost myself into got damaged as I was gaining sustenance.
if you don't mind me asking, who was she?
She is my sister, was my sister.
She was beautiful.
Indeed.
She was. Yeah, you can both observe that his demeanor changes a little bit. You can see his fingers roll, and he slides one of his hands in his pocket as he's talking to you, and he's getting out of his pocket a very small, like drawing pencil, and starts stirring in it, turning it in his hand. Uh, as you can see, it calms him down somewhat.
Mhm. So, I assume you would like to see this piece restored?
Yes, yes, I would very much.
That one will take a lot more work. Um, if you don't mind, I need to take a few notes and I'll get back to you with more information about both pieces.
All right, that's fine.
So Monique will then take out of her purse a small notebook and will start writing down the specific damages that she can see uh, on the painting. I'll also use heightened senses so that I can see everything pretty much.
Right.
Um, by the way, you said that there was blood stain on this painting.
Yep, you can see small drops of blood spattered on the painting from left to right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not much, but you can see that there has been some blood cleaned off, or something has been cleaned off as well. You assume that it's blood.
Okay.
So this one is definitely more damaged because someone went over it with water, and what seems to be either lye or something like that.
Yeah. Uh, Out of character question. Was this when was this painting made?
This painting was made in the if I'm correct, I have to look up when he was born again because that's where. Give me a few seconds.
Well, I don't need the very specific. Was photography a thing when that happened?
It's not photography. No, no, it's a
Yeah, but
painting.
yeah, but was photography a thing at the time?
Yeah, photography could have been done
Okay, so
theoretically,
would there
but
be a photograph of the painting before it was destroyed, or of the woman depicted on the painting?
of the woman depicted on the painting, yes. But It's in black and white, obviously.
That
There is not
matters.
there are other paintings of her, but not in this pose and not
It
this.
doesn't matter as long as I have a clear understanding of what she looks like. If
Right?
there's
Yeah, yeah,
damage on the paint
yeah.
and
Both exist. However, uh, yeah, you would have to pry those as well. You have to figure that out because if you ask that question in character, it will give you an answer. So if
yeah,
you
I would probably ask that, but later. I think I'll leave you a moment while I'm taking notes so you can speak with Katya because we need some equal time here. That's the whole idea about the notebook.
Katya can see definitely on the painting that the girl in the painting has about her same color of hair, also the same length. She definitely
Hmm.
looks younger though. Katya looks, although she's small, she looks at least like, I believe 27 if I'm correct, 26, 27. This girl looks
25.
25. This one looks more like she's 16, 17. Also small stature. That's probably because she's 16, 17.
Hmm.
Also, you can see that the color of his aura changes.
Oh, she
Um,
she could not perceive it. She only sees the primary color.
right,
Yeah.
which is fine. It changes and it changes, like it used to be like deep red, which could look like it was lust. However, when you look again now, it's not lust. It's more like love, but with a desire. Like he desires her to be, probably to be there again or to be still alive. Something that is not so much um, on the horn dog level, but more on the desire level of having her close again.
Okay.
But it only switches. So in the beginning it was dark red because he had been confronted with her with this particular painting after it being covered for a long, long while.
She probably wouldn't say anything. She would admire the painting for a moment, but for the most part, she doesn't say anything about the aura. Mostly because she has, no room to judge. Kieran, chill out, little dude. You're fine.
So as Rothschild just revealed these pictures, he takes a seat and just looks at the picture. He is not drowning in its beauty as you would expect a Tremere of a Toreador to do, but he is very focused on what he's seeing right now.
Katya would try not to interrupt him.
If she
She
doesn't
can
try,
see she can see that he's focused painting and doesn't want to interrupt that.
after like a minute or so, maybe longer, he seems to snap out of it, like he's being cold. But no, you can't hear a voice. Maybe he could. And he just looks at Katya and say, right. So, I hope it's not too stuffy of an old house.
My dear, I have been in many a stuffy home in my 300 years on life. I hardly consider this stuffy.
Many rooms I have not been in for a long while, simply not finding the reason or the urge to actually do so. I can tell you the room we're standing in right now hasn't been danced in for at least 100 years. The last people I remember dancing into this room were my parents together. That has been a long time. Only them and the sounds of music coming from the balcony.
Hmm. She would think for a minute and then grab his hand.
What does she do?
She takes his hand. Then
She
come
takes his
dance with
hand.
me.
Oh, I wouldn't. I'm not a very good dancer. But he does allow her to lead him onto a dance floor, partially because he feels reminiscent, partially because a very beautiful woman is asking him to dance, and it feels ill mannered to refuse. However, you can definitely see he does not feel very comfortable since dancing is not one of his skill sets.
And she does not mind at all that he's not that great of a dancer. She's not that great of a dancer either, in all truth.
He'll try to start a dance that is quite old, more of a waltz. The music is playing in his head and nowhere else. And he just lets go of small parts of his inhibition. And he just closes his eyes and flows along with the music that he can hear in his mind.
And given that he's leading, Katya would follow.
As they
As is typical with a waltz, anyway.
indeed, as they continue dancing, she notices that he is dancing on a song in his mind, but he knows every step. He's not making a step. You wouldn't say he's quite a very accomplished dancer. However, she can clearly notice that he is keeping to the beat with every step. It's not as elegant as you would expect to be a professional. It's not as perfect a step as you would expect a true dancer to make. However, the music in his mind, the music in his head, plays along very well, and he doesn't seem to miss a step of that one. And he carries her along. She is there along for the ride as he slowly gets lost into the music in his head.
Which, given the tightness of the dress, she can't take full steps, but she can move with him as much as she possibly can.
As she tries to move along, not really sure where he's going every single time because it's not perfect. He seems to be pulling her closer to his body, not in a very strong way or a very sexual way, because he seems to be lost. He's not busy with anything sexual. This could have been done by any person. However, he seems to be lost in his mind for a moment, lost within the music. but he keeps dancing.
And Katya lets him. She wouldn't interrupt his getting lost. It's nice to see, actually.
Maybe for once she is not judged for the way she looks because he's not opening his eyes. He has his eyes closed to listen to the music and enjoy the music better that comes from within his mind. And then, slowly, he regains some of his conservative composure and he'll give her a smile. It's a wry smile because for a moment he doesn't know how long he's been dancing. And he notices that the music in his mind stops, as clearly this is the moment for him to stop. And he stops and looks at both of them and says, Entschuldigung. And he he lets go of Katya.
Katya would step back and smile at him. It certainly seems you had a good time.
If he could blush, he would blush. Clearly, he finds himself to be more awkward, having lost himself more than anything else. And he says, Well, thank you very much for the dance. Miss Monique, do you have everything that you needed?
I do have a question. If this painting, I assume, isn't that old, would would you have an actual image of the same person depicted in it, uh, that I could use as reference, perhaps?
I have only two pictures of my sister. None of them, both not neither of them are very clear.
How about a different painting of her then? Something I could study.
I have the family picture, but she's not very old in the picture.
How old would she be in the family picture?
In the family picture, she wouldn't be older than 6 or 8. Her actual her actual age would be an 8, but as you can see, she has quite a baby face compared to the man side of the family.
Mm. Um, I just I think it would be really beneficial if I had like a reference picture that I could use just to be on the safe side. I want to do as good of a job on it as possible. Uh, so if I could, this is up to you, of course. If you would allow me to see a reference. I'm very professional, you know. That was out of character, of course.
Rothschild smiles. He expected it. He hoped it to be. But when he looks at Monique and then looks at Katya, he he feels a creeping sensation within his body, and he says, "Well, this is it for now, ladies. I wish you all a very good night. I hope you can finish what you already started."
Certainly, I will be contacting you both regarding those paintings and our lessons. I guess we shouldn't take any more of your time. And she's gonna look at Katya.
Yes, you have a lovely evening, Keeper. She would come over and give him a very traditional kiss on both sides of the face and step back.
Yeah, I guess Monique will do the same because, you know.
Can't be outshone by the Tremere.
Oh no, it's just a matter of manners, not anything like that. Then we shall be on our way.
And you decide to be on your way.
It got really quiet.
Yeah, sorry, baby screaming. And with that, Katya would
Tessie? Hello. Shaina.
I'm here.
What happening?
I don't know.
Well, I guess we can walk out. If we can find our way back.
And we can't end until Jesse gets back.
Well,
Yeah, that's why I've been on mute.
Yeah, I know.
It's a little stinker bug. That's not how you suck on a pacifier, dude. Jesse.
Ooh, what's
Maybe
that?
that will get his attention.
Oh,
Yes,
That was
that's got
me.
my attention. Did you say something?
Yeah,
yeah.
we we were we were kind of wondering where you went.
No, I was there, just in my mind. You know, that happens on occasions.
Jesus. Well, yeah, we're gonna have to find our way out of your.
Your house.
Yeah.
Right. Well, if he's there, you're gonna try to snap him out of it. He will snap out of it, looking at the painting.
How can we get him to snap out of it?
Figure something out.
I'll roll.
Gotcha would
guess charisma
walk
expression.
over and kind of gently lay her hand on his shoulder.
He doesn't. He doesn't move.
Okay, let's try my way then.
Yep.
Mm, I'll put it as standard difficulty.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Ooh, great.
No successes.
No, that isn't happening.
What did he try to do?
Uh, reason with you maybe like. Mm, um, I mean, I could use presence potentially, but I wouldn't want to do that.
You can try, but then I will have to pull
No,
a
I
merit I have that makes quite difficult.
I generally don't avoid using disciplines on friendly
Mm-hmm.
individuals. So
Smart woman.
I consider it to be like offensive.
Well, as you're there,
I
and
would.
he's not frozen. He found a peaceful place in his mind, and yeah, he seems to be residing in his mind at this moment more than at the outside. Sound seems to be hard to reach him. The touch of his shoulders seems to be tricky and won't reach him.
Mm,
Gotcha would attempt to lean down and kind of whisper in his ear, Alexander.
If she would whisper his name,
Yeah.
that sound would work.
yeah, that's
If,
just a horror movie.
if she whispers his name, she can see a smile appearing on his face, and then his eyes direct at Katya, and he would for a moment look straight into her eyes, look at her like he's not looking at Katya but at someone else, and then sort of lean back, getting shocked out of whatever world he was in, whatever fantasy he was thinking about. And he rises up from his chair, almost startled. And since he doesn't know how long this has happened, he kind of looks from left to right and says, "Sorry, yes, yes. I think it's time. It's time that you both leave."
Great.
Yes.
Have
It
a
was a
good
pleasure
evening,
seeing you.
Mr. Rothschild. We'll be in touch.
Yes, and he will walk towards a door and will open the door for the ladies. They will enter a darker area in one of the corridors. As they don't know where to go, he walks over and then pushes against the wall within the house. It's a hidden passage that they hadn't seen before. And they arrive at the left side under the stairs through an area. And then they can look at the front door again.
Why, thank you. It's quite the neat little secret passage.
I have made quite some adjustments to the house. But that one was already there.
That happens with old houses, though. Secret passages, hidden rooms.
In actuality, hidden passages in the old times weren't so much hidden passages as they were where the servants would go in order to put more coal and wood into the warmers.
You are quite well knowing of this subject. Indeed, this used to be a passage that my dad used. Oh, sorry, that my dad used and servants used in order to heat up the rooms. And yeah, he starts walking towards the door. From the back, you can see that on the front there was definitely the Rothschild crest. On the back, that is now closed, you can clearly see it's more the depiction of gods and goddesses, which seems to either be in a fight opposing each other, as well as maybe entwined within each other in what seems to be more of a love situation. So the door entirely is a combination of gods and godly bodies either making love or making war. And that's what you'll be approaching. Oh, you're a Toreador, right?
Yes?
Make me a roll, see if you get captivated by it.
Fuck. What difficulty is that?
I do believe it's just a simple willpower roll.
No, that's the self-control.
Yeah, it's self-control. Difficulty is... give me a second.
I believe for Toreador it's 8. Could be higher though.
I don't think it's higher. I've never rolled for higher. Did you find?
I cannot find it.
Frank. Great, it's tricky.
Self-control difficulty 6.
Oh, that's quite easy.
Yeah, barely. Barely. But I can keep my composure this time.
So exactly. So for the narrative part, you walk towards the door and you can see a very very beautiful ornate door, and for a moment, the beauty captivates you as you miss one step within your stroll. Then take self control of whatever was happening, and continues to move along as you enjoy your surroundings. I'm going to give it a one last try, and I'm going to try and see and touch your surface thoughts again of you both, seeing if you liked what you have seen so far in the house. Oh, that's a lot better.
It's versus our willpower, yes?
Yes.
Also have to roll willpower.
So I've got.
No. Whatever your current permanent willpower is what his difficulty is.
Yep.
Okay, then you have one success.
All right.
With Katya, you have 3.
Awesome.
Ooh.
Yeah, she's only got a 6 willpower, which I plan on increasing.
Smart. Smart girl.
I have a 7, and I think I'm good with 7, honestly.
So tell me, what are the surface thoughts of Monique?
Well, she's kind of intimidated by the size of the whole building. Like, to be fair, she had a pretty affluent life when she was young, but nothing like this. And
This is what old money looks like.
yeah, and she definitely prefers smaller houses. Like she's a bit lost in something this big. Like she would probably feel really sad if she had to leave this place because it's so big. But overall, she liked the art and piano and everything. It's
I haven't
nice
showed
that
you the house that Katya is purchasing once she pays off the chantry, have I?
nope. Well, you have to understand though that different generations here, like by centuries, so she has completely different mindset when kind of like uh, nowadays minimalism is much more acceptable than all these baroque styles and huge ass places.
Very true.
And what is surface
Oh,
thoughts
come
of
on.
Katja?
Katya's probably just thinking that the house is absolutely gorgeous, though she is kind of concerned about Alexander's well-being, given how enraptured he became with the painting. Worried that he might forget to eat.
All right. Well, as he is about to see what is happening, he still opens the door for both of them, where the older man is waiting for them both.
Sorry, I kind of missed that.
There's an old man waiting. The old man that is going to bring you back to the car which you came from, in order to lead you out of the house. Alexander will smile at both of you and look both of you in the eyes and simply say, Miss Monique, you're welcome to play with the piano. If you announce yourself previously, at least please, 2 days, 3 days, 5 days in advance. Miss Katja, you're welcome if you want to look at more of the history of the house. But again, announce in advance would be much, much appreciated.
I think I will leave it to you whenever you have the time and
When you give me the estimates of the restoration costs, I will make a decision if I'm willing to have you restore the paintings. Maybe start with one first and add another later.
certainly I will let you know.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward to both of you seeing you both at some other point at some day. Now I wish
Indeed.
you both a very good evening. And he bows and takes Monique's hand and bows deep and kisses the top of it just above the knuckles. Then he looks at Katya and does exactly the same thing. Rests his lips on her hand. And as he does this, he smiles and he expects you both to start walking back to the car, which is a great moment to stop the scene unless you guys want to talk to each other about what just happened.
Monique,
What? Sorry.
do we want to talk about what happened, or would we like
Uh,
to end the scene here?
whatever you want. I mean,
You're a whole lot of help.
does Katya want to talk about it?
No, not particularly.
Well, yeah, it was an awkward moment, and you know, we're not that close to be gossiping our host.
Yes, we'll go ahead and end here.
Yeah.
Then I thank you both for playing. I thank watchers for watching, and I bid you both a very good night.